recording here. Okay, so this is Career and Life Update number 11. I can't tell you how many times I have to re-record an entire video because I will sit through and I have notes up here on the screen, and I'll do the thing and I'll feel like I'm doing a good job, and then I'll watch what I recorded and like, oh, you weren't very animated, or you didn't do this, like no one's going to want to watch this video. And I think what I have to do is just go faster and get to the point. So this update might be significantly quicker than some of the other updates because job-wise, not a lot has happened. I haven't had a lot of callbacks. I haven't had interviews. I don't know that I've had an interview since the last time I did one of these videos. Have been applying to places. I did get my Bassett certification for serving alcohol, so now I can go be a bartender if someone wants to take a chance on someone who doesn't have any experience as a bartender. I'm looking at all sorts of different possibilities. But let me rewind to, let's see, our last update was in April. At the very end of May 31st, my father had a heart attack, which is scary, and it's one of those things that most of us are not prepared to deal with, and it happens, and you have to deal with it fast. This happened to him. I have to catch myself because I don't know what he wants me to share and what he doesn't. It's fairly public knowledge that he had a heart attack. But the man did not call 911. He had his brother drive him to the hospital instead of calling 911. He got airlifted to a second hospital and then airlifted to a third hospital. After tests, from the first incident to the time they let him out, I think it was 10 days. And it's funny because he doesn't remember a lot of it. I'll maybe, with his blessing, someday do a little storyteller video about this. But there was a lot going on, and the hospital he ended up was an hour away. So for almost 2 weeks, I'm driving back and forth to this hospital almost every day. When he got out, he could not drive. He could not lift anything more than 10 pounds. He lives alone about 45 minutes south of where my sister and I live. So she and I were going to have to help take care of him. He eventually ended up staying at her house. We would kind of trade driving duties back and forth to appointments and things like that. But like I said, it's just one of those things that you're not ready for. I'm a little relieved that I wasn't working full time because I don't know how much help I could have been if I was. You would like to believe that every employer is always understanding of those kinds of things, but that's not always been my experience, quite honestly, and it probably would have looked really bad if I'd gotten a job, say, middle of May, and 2 weeks later I'm saying, my dad had a heart attack. What can I do in terms of family leave or vacation time or emergency leave, whatever? Just doesn't paint a great picture if you just started a job. So in that sense, I was kind of relieved that I wasn't working. Around the same time, I started the process of being tested for ADHD and autism. And this was somewhat at the suggestion of my therapist. And it's funny because years and years ago, I asked her if she thought that ADHD might apply to me. She said no at the time because it didn't sound like I had, certain difficulties in school as a kid or at home. But I always felt like there were a lot of parallels when I talked to other people who had ADHD, and it sounded like they were talking about me a lot. So I'm not sure exactly what changed in her opinion, but she mentioned that, a lot of times these two things overlap. You can have them to varying degrees. I'm looking forward to seeing what these tests conclude. It consisted of 2 4-hour sessions that included surveys, skills testing, interviews, in addition to surveys and questionnaires that I filled out before and after these sessions. The testing is often less conclusive for adults, and I'm a little nervous at the same time, but whatever they show, the information should be helpful to me going forward just as an individual, to help me realize what tendencies I have. Even if it comes back that says you don't have ADHD, you don't have autism, it's still going to have observations about my personality. And I've often wondered, there are things about myself that I would like to change. Those conclusions of those tests should help me realize some things that I need to work on and how I might work on them in a way that's beneficial to me. So I hope whatever result that comes back, it's helpful to my personal growth moving forward. Not much else to go on after that. I have purchased a table saw. I'm cleaning out my garage. I'm trying to clean the house. Part of this is that in absence of being offered a job or work elsewhere, I'm trying to think, what is in my control to do? What kind of workshops can I offer? What kind of things can I build and sell? I may be making some edge grain cutting boards, maybe some bat houses or bird houses or guitar bodies. Part of this is I need to get my hands working on things again. I've missed doing that. I've been in kind of a funk for a while. And if I can turn any of that into something where I see a little profit from it, then that's great. But part of it is I just need to get working with my hands. And the other part is like I'm just thinking about other things I can offer a community or to keep myself moving, to learn new things, to put myself in the best possible position for finding work later. It is kind of a scary time. This, I think, is the longest I've gone without full-time work, not counting, times I've been in school. I'm trying to remain hopeful. I do have a history of landing jobs towards the end of July and August, so maybe that's going to repeat. Maybe I'll have a much better video next time. I have no idea what that's going to be. You could hear that I'm going to be a concrete finisher. You could hear that I'm bartending. Your guess is as good as mine right now. I haven't ruled out UX jobs, but unless they're remote, I'm going to drive a long way to them. And so that's sometimes a consideration. That's just a fact of where I live right now. I think that's all I've got this time. Nice, quick, short update. I don't have any words of wisdom to share or pass on. It's just one of those times where I'm trying to keep my own head above water. And so far, it's been a success, I guess. I'm trying real hard to think of like some awesome note to end this on, but I don't have it this time. So we're going to hope for next time a much more awesome ending to a video. I guess we'll do this again in about 3 months. In the meantime, I'm hoping to return back to some of these storyteller videos that I promised. Those might be forthcoming. Thank you all for watching again, for your support through the years. I can't believe how long I've been doing this now. It's been an interesting journey. Thanks again. We'll see ya.